Hello, dear Patreons and channel members. Welcome to yet another episode of Spells by the Moon. Today we are keeping in mind a new moon in Pisces, which is going to come along on March 10th. Inspired by this new moon energy combined with Pisces energy, I thought about bringing something that has been highly requested on the channel, I would say, which is my personal procedure for adopting a grave at a cemetery. Pisces is a zodiac sign that has a lot of connection with spirituality in general, not to mention psychic ability. So Pisces go much more beyond the typical characteristics that we usually see people talk about when it comes to the zodiac sign of Pisces, and spirituality is one very strong trait in the people who have Pisces on their chart. And then we have the new moon or the dark moon, which is so powerful for everything concerning cleansings, for shadow work, baneful magic, but also for spiritual connection. You don't need to wait for a new moon in Pisces to adopt a grave and do the things I'm gonna describe in this video, but those two energies together, new moon and Pisces, it just made completely sense for me to come here and tell you about adopting a grave, how I like to do it and how you could do it too. It's actually something very simple, much simpler than it might look like, or better yet, much more simple than it might sound like. And here's what you have to keep in mind. First of all, how do you choose, right? How do you choose a grave to adopt? Well, you go to a cemetery near your house, the easiest for you, and you just go around a little bit. You take a walk, you take a look around, and you see if any grave catches your attention for whatever reason. If anything really makes you feel drawn, pay attention to that, listen to your instincts and your gut feeling, and then when you feel that a certain grave catches your eye or makes you feel drawn to it, approach. Take a look at what's written on the tombstone, like what kind of decorations there are on top of it, and the name of the person, when they were born, when they died. Try to see if there's anything that talks about their personality, who they were, what they did in life, that kind of thing, because you also want to look for somebody that you would actually befriend in real life. Like, as a living person, you would be interested in them or find some kind of affinity with that person. Me, for example, I felt very interested by the grave of an artist, somebody who was a painter. It is the only artist buried in a cemetery near my house, and I immediately felt interested by that person who died in the 1920s. So it would definitely be someone who I would be interested in getting to know in real life. I think that artists are one of the best people to get to know. They're usually very intelligent and interesting, so usually they're very good friend material, at least. So there you go. Then the first thing you do is to present yourself and try to find out if that spirit would be okay with you visiting. How do you do that? You ask, are you okay with me visiting? And how do you know the answer? Well, you have multiple different ways. You can feel it, whether positive or negative. You can just get a gut feeling about it. Respect it. If it's a negative answer, do not force it, okay? Once you ask, are you okay with me visiting you regularly? I would like to build a relationship with you. You seem like an interesting person. I would like to be friends. Would you be interested? Listen. Maybe you will hear something, maybe you will feel something, and try to figure out if that's a positive or a negative. Trust me, you will know if it's positive or negative. Look around you, see if anything, any kind of sign comes along, wind, something that falls, some kind of bird, and trust me, you will know how to interpret the signs as they arise. And of course, another thing that you can use are tarot and oracle cards. One oracle card that I definitely recommend for spirit communication, which I just ordered and I am super excited for it to arrive, is the Memento Mori Oracle by Claire Goodchild. I'm gonna leave a link for it somewhere here in this post because it's only sold on her website. But that oracle, from what I've heard, it is very useful and tailored specifically for communicating with spirits of the dead, so it can really help. But you can of course use the old but gold tarot deck in order to obtain answers. Okay, so once you and the spirit of that grave are on the same page and they are okay with you visiting and coming to talk to them, what do? You are going to pay weekly visits, or at least as often as you can go. It can be twice a month, or once a week, as frequently as you can and want. And you are going to take very simple offerings for them. You can take a coin, you can take water, or if that spirit, as time goes by and things progress, they could ask for something more specific. Like a grave that I adopted at my local cemetery, I usually take tea and biscuits because it was a British guy, so it felt very appropriate to take English breakfast tea for him as an offering. You're gonna keep in mind who that person was when they were alive. When it is somebody who maybe was known or had some kind of reputation in the city, try to find out information about it. Google their name, go to the town's library and archives and registry and try to find information about that person. When I adopted the grave of a war veteran who passed away, unfortunately, in World War II, I found a lot about that person just by Googling their name. So I found out about his family background, personality traits even, the kind of person that he was. So make sure to Google the name of the person whose grave you're adopting, because you could find a lot of information. Take note of the days of birth and death of that spirit and take the time to make a special offering that day. Maybe a little something that you've made yourself, or especially that, because putting the time and the effort into cooking is part of the offering. And what exactly do you do when you visit that grave? Well, it's like visiting a friend at their house. You just go there and hang out. You have a conversation, you share a little bit of tea or coffee or water, biscuits, whatever. Something that I like to do as well is to take, for example, my embroidery to do there, or take a book, because it is also very good to enjoy some moments of silence, pure, complete silence, and just listen to the wind and listen to the leaves on the trees ruffling. It is a very relaxing experience. Or you can just go without taking that many things to do and just be present, just enjoy the silence and enjoy the company of the spirits. But it's like visiting a living friend. You just go there, have a conversation, share a snack, hang out, then you thank them for their time and go back home. Make sure to take coins to leave at the entrance of the cemetery as payment for you to be able to enter and, just to pay some respects to the guardians of the cemetery. That is very important. Also make sure to wear protections, charmed objects such as jewelry Also, a head cover is very important with bless it and smoke it just to make sure that you are protected. And taking a cleansing herbal bath when you get home can also be very useful just to uncharge yourself from the energies that are spirits that maybe could have come along with you back home. So a bath that I really like to take after visiting a cemetery is garlic peels. I boil it in water, let it cool down, go to the shower, clean myself physically, and then I pour the garlic peel bath from the neck down just to cleanse out my energies after a cemetery visit. As time goes by and your relationship with that spirit is built up, they will slowly start being more and more open to cooperating with you with small things. Don't go to a cemetery asking for favors right away. First thing you do is to build relationships, okay? Not only with one particular spirit from one particular grave, but with the entire cemetery as a whole and the guardians and other entities that belong in there. Build a nice relationship as you are entering part of your neighborhood. And I have here some questions that you could ask your adopted grave spirit, just some conversation starters. So like, for example, what was it like for you to pass away? How did you feel? And how do you feel now? Tell me something you like. What was your favorite thing in life? What is your favorite thing in death? Questions like those, they are fun and they will help you to get to know that spirit and their experience. Connecting with spirits of the dead is a very interesting experience to embrace. Make sure that you are protected, that you are respectful, and that you are in good company, okay? Always listen to your intuition, pay attention to the signs, and trust your gut feeling that you cannot go wrong. I hope that this little guide can be useful to you. Make sure to give it a try and let me know in the comments about your personal experience with spirits of the dead. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next post. And remember, practice makes perfect. So let's get witching. Bye.